The Everglades are remote, diverse, unique, and strangely mysterious. Vast open space in the most southern region of Florida that spans 1.5 million acres. A very slow-moving river that originates in Lake Okeechobee and flows south to the Florida Bay. In this video, we will hike 4 easy hikes in the section of the Everglades National Park, starting at the Ernest F. Coe Visitor Center. Come and join me as we hike and explore this beautiful area. The best times for wildlife viewing are either sunrise or towards dusk, so I will be starting at sunrise near the Royal Palm Visitor Center. My first hike is the Anhinga Trail, which is considered to be the very best trail in the Everglades for wildlife viewing. The Royal Palm Visitor Center is a 4-mile drive from the main entrance to the park at the Ernest F. Coe Visitor Center, and this is where the Anhinga Trail begins. It is an easy 0.8 of a mile round-trip loop trail, mostly on an elevated boardwalk that spans over a very scenic sawgrass marsh. The beginning of the trail follows along the Taylor Slough, and then I turn left onto a trail that will give us a very good look back towards Royal Palm Visitor Center and the Paradise Key hardwood hammock. The boardwalk also goes through a pond apple willow marsh. On the right, at the beginning of the trail, it parallels the old Ingraham Highway. There are several interpretive signs along the trail to describe what you are viewing. With only a few feet of elevation gain, you will see that the sawgrass prairie and the slough and the hardwood hammock out in the distance. The hardwood hammock is on a little island, the Paradise Key hammock. One of the interpretive signs lets you know about some of the invasive species here in the Taylor Slough, like the pike. The pond apple marsh areas are the nesting areas for the anhingas, so if you're going to see some anhingas, it would most likely be to the right and left here. Okay, so finishing up my hike along the Anhinga Trail boardwalk. That was so cool. I got a great picture of a hawk. So I would have missed him, but someone standing next to me said, "Oh, look in that tree. There's a beautiful hawk." Right behind me is a giant Gumbo Limbo trail. This is at the beginning of the trail here. We're gonna follow the Gumbo Limbo trail. Coming this way, go to Solution Hole, Oak Tree, see the Strangler Fig, and then come back here. It's a loop trail. So along the trail, there's this little small oasis, which they call the pocket-size oasis. Just a little watery area that'll attract wading birds. So walking along the Gumbo Limbo Trail, it's paved, it's narrow, and it goes through a very dense hammock area. It's really quiet in the early morning, which I like hiking in the mornings. It's real pretty, and this goes along the Taylor Slough. The Gumbo Limbo Trail is a very easy, family-friendly loop trail. It's short, about 0.5 of a mile. It goes through a very lush, shaded tropical hammock with royal palms, ferns, air plants, strangler figs, and of course the Gumbo Limbo trees. First road to Flamingo. This is the remnants of the Ingraham Highway, the first road built between Homestead and Flamingo. It took from 1915 to 1922 to complete the road, and then much of it was unpaved. Today we can hike along a portion of the historic road that also forms part of the Anhinga Trail. So this is real beautiful here. It's an open swamp area. It's early in the morning. I don't see any wading birds this early. So once you cross over that bridge, you're very close to the parking lot where we started at the trail. Right, so I finished the Gumbo Limbo Trail back at the parking lot. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and smash that button for notifications so you can hear about future videos. So now I'll go back to the main road and head on over to the next trail. After leaving the Royal Palm Visitor Center, I will return back to the main road and turn left. Just a short ways from the Royal Palm Center, on the right, the trail for Pinelands Trail begins. All right, so now I'm at Pineland Trail. It's a hardwood hammock, pine trail hammock, and so it's 0.4 of a mile. Let's go hike. Okay, so I'm at the trailhead for Pinelands Trail. It's a loop trail that goes through different habitats, sawgrass, Pine Island. So it's super pretty here. Past the dwarf cypress forest, and then after that comes the pine forest. There's lots of little butterflies flying all around here. So the Pinelands Trail is very different from the Anhinga and Gumbo Limbo Trail in that it's located in the Everglades and passes through a pine rockland forest. It's very easy, and it has slash pines and tropical hardwoods. From this trail, you can also connect to a longer trail called the Pineland Tour Trail through gates 2 and 3, and then the Long Pine Key Nature Trail, which is a 3.8 mile one-way trail if you want to hike longer. Today, I'm just going to stick to the short loop Pinelands Trail. So this whole area is part of Long Pine Key. There's a campground on the other side of the road. So on the left side is the pine forest, and on the right side is the tropical hardwood hammock. So this was a nice little peaceful walk through the hammock. It's calm. So this little shrub here is called the Pineland acacia. It's got little thorns on it right here. And when it's blooming, it's got beautiful, round, puffy yellow flowers. Right along the main road, I stopped. There's a little short boardwalk trail that crosses through a pine forest, a cypress pine forest. And the trees, although they are short, these are considered fully grown and mature because it's so marshy and there's not much soil. Of course, this is the dry season, so there's not a lot of leaves or pine firs. So because of the thin soil and the shallow water, they don't grow very tall. But the air's real fragrant from the cypress. It's beautiful. So I'm headed over to the Mahogany Hammock Trail, but I stopped for this little short trail. I found it to be so interesting. And along the main road, there's a sign that I passed that said elevation 3 feet. Okay, so now let's head on over to the Mahogany Hammock Trail. This will be the last trail of the day. The Mahogany Hammock Trail is located 20 miles from the main park entrance at the Ernest F. Coe Visitor Center. So here at the Mahogany Hammock Trail, it's a boardwalk that bridges the Sawgrass River and enters into a tree island, the tropical hammock. So here's a map, and we're starting here. We're going to cross over this marsh prairie onto the hammock island, the tree island. It's a loop trail, so you can go right or left. And there's little benches you can sit at. So let's go and hike. So the Mahogany Hammock is an island on the edge of the Shark River Slough. Here's an overview picture of what it looks like. After going through this little marsh prairie area, we'll enter into the hammock, and the trail will wind through a very dense jungle-like hardwood hammock, including the Gumbo Limbo trees, air plants, and the largest mahogany tree in the U.S. I walked the trail twice in search of that mahogany tree. So these tree islands provided a very unique habitat for the Seminole Indians. They were able to survive out here in this rather harsh habitat. Spotted that owl as I was walking down the trail. Tried hard to get a good picture of him. He knew I was looking at him, and then he turned his head away. Okay, so directly in front of us, the large tree trunk and tree, that's the mahogany tree. Try and zoom in where I took the picture of the air plants. That's the mahogany. Okay, so we're back to the fork in the road, and we'll go and look at the open marsh area here. I saw a snowy egret when I was coming up. Looking down onto the marsh, there's an algae called paraphyton. It's a soft, spongy mat of algae. Well, this is the end of our video today. I hope you all enjoyed the hiking tour of the Everglades National Park. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.